Hello and welcome to Ranked Ramble. So this is another post commentary, even though I did record live. I have figured out the issue here. But basically this is going to be a deck tech and a couple of videos going over a few points. Key thing here, this is the current Explorer Niv list that we're playing. So, as you can see here, we're still running Amelia combo with a couple of copies of Wildgrowth Walker and Amelia Beneferes. We're running a lot of new cards here from the Murders of Call of Mana. We are at core a Niv-Mizzet deck. Apologies, since I lost the audio, this is a post thing, so I've got to remember where the hell my keypad goes. So, no more lies. Mana Leak in Azorius. Vanishing Verse for removal. Tyrant Scorn to bounce problematic permanents, protect our own. Molten Collapse, solid Planeswalker creature removal. Cram Sessions, we're still running the Learn package here. Like I said, this is kind of my signature and I love it. Assassin's Trophy to deal with any permanent, even troublesome lands. Our additional new card as well is Breakout, which is half a collected company. So for 2 mana, we can put a 2 cost or less from the top 6 into the field. If not though, we can just find it and put it in our hand. So obviously both our combo pieces here are 2 or less. Also we can just grab Kinnan or a Niv or an Edgar, throw that into our hand as required. We're running Lightning Helix with the fancy art from the new edition now that it's in Pioneer, which is great, and Voice of Resurgence as a good early thing we can drop and protect. Addition to these, obviously as well, it eats 2 removal spells, which is one of the main reasons why it's so good. We've got Edgar because we love the Eternal Vampire, the hard to deal with creature that just keeps giving and makes us lifelink blockers. He has been a mainstay since we tried him out, and I'm really enjoying him. But you'll notice that we have added back in our friend Kaito, the Dancing Shadow, because I really enjoy playing this card with the new Kellan. So that Kellan has the ability to make a clue, make initial land drop as an adventure, or you can play him in, and when he swings you can blow up an artifact, and if you control the artifact, you draw a card. Now that's great removal, he's flying, evasive with vigilance. Great thing as well, if you bounce him with Kaito, you get the adventure back. He can also on attack blow up Kaito's drone and do effectively 5 damage if he's unopposed. So I've been really enjoying this. So as I say, we use Kaito's static of whenever a creature deals combat damage to a player, we return that creature to our hand. If we do, we can activate Kaito again. So we can basically swing in with a Kellan. We can sack and destroy an artifact if we need to, or blow up an opponent's one if we need to. Bounce Kellan back to our hand with the Kaito trigger, get a second activation. We can then replay Tail the Suspect. I'm coming around on Tail the Suspect, so it's not as good as a Growth Spiral, but for blue and a green at a sorcery speed, we can investigate and play an additional land. So the upsides of this are obviously we bank a card draw for later, we have a clue for the synergies obviously with Kellan. We put Kellan into the adventure zone so he cannot be hand disruptions or discarded. And yeah, and on the plus side, his attack doesn't have to target our own clue. If we don't have the clue at the point where we play Kellan, we can just swing with him and do damage that way. So that's a pretty decent explanation of the deck. Obviously I'm working here with post commentary, so I hope this comes off clean. Sideboard, Learn package, Graveyard Hate, Life Gain Hate for the Amelia combo. Okay, we'll go through it card by card because it's clearly going through card by card. Teaching the Chaos, really good to draw. Basic Conjuration, lets us dig, gains life. Containment Breach, destroys artifact or enchantment. If we hit a small one, we get a Pest token. Pest Summoning to make 2 1/1s, and Mascot Exhibition as a huge finisher. In addition to that, at the bottom we are running Introduction to Annihilation. It is a good answer, but also it's kind of my jokey flex where if I'm pulling off the Amelia combo and they're tapped out, and I'm using a learn spell, I will grab the Introduction to Annihilation as in, this is your introduction to Annihilation, you are now dead to Amelia. Aside from that, our sideboard has Weenie Hate with wipes, additional control, Graveyard Hate, and Rolling Vortex, which is a way to prevent opponents gaining life. This is obviously a response to the Amelia combo, trying it out if we run into it. So with the deck tech done, we're going to do random talks and go over the gameplay and talk about what's going to happen going forward. So there's been a lot going on in Magic this week. Markov Manor, obviously, there's some talk about it being a bit of a flop. I'm actually really enjoying it, but you know, it's a 2-colored set with a primary focus on 2-colored spells, so I'm naturally just going to love it no matter what happens. Now the big thing, obviously there's a ton of spells I still haven't tried out. I've seen some people having success with Urgent Necropsy and other things like that. But honestly, I've been really enjoying the current play. I've been enjoying No More Lies, I've been enjoying Helix. It started up to build a deck. Obviously I need to work on this to trade it round, but here's the big crux of this. I'm gonna stop doing ranked rambles every week. I'm gonna actually move more to live commentary. I was supposed to have these matches with live commentary as a first transition, but it turns out my random Bluetooth speaker that I have in the house, when it connects to my computer, overrides my USB microphone recorder, which is scary because I didn't even know that speaker had a microphone because it doesn't have voice commands. So weird, very scary. But yeah, so we'll be doing more live commentary as we go, and I'm thinking of breaking up the videos more, so you'll see a lot more of direct matches posted. So we'll have like Niv-Mizzet Explore, and then we'll have like a thing about the deck like Ranked Explorer, or like if it's a casual tryout, we might say, you know, Necropsy, Kaito, and whatever we're trying out or playing. We've got all of them that we can play, and we're just going to have that as a single video with, for example, this one here, Niv-Mizzet 5-color Explorer versus Black Devotion. But yeah, that's the main announcement. The other thing I want to quickly touch on before I go into talking about gameplay here is Wizards announced that they are going to do double Universes Beyond in 2025, and I'm shaking my head. And I don't mean they're going to do like more Commander products like they've done recently, which has been really successful. Well, you'd argue the successfulness of it, okay? So, you know, Warhammer obviously has a main crossover. Every hobby shop and every Magic shop also has a Warhammer community, so there was a crossover there. Then we had Lord of the Rings as a massive release, which is apparently what they want to emulate with other properties. And we got Marvel coming now, which is weird to me. You know, I don't know if Marvel's standard or whatever, but I really don't know if I want to deal with that. But honestly, I'm concerned because, well, I think particularly if you're going to release them into the main set, like if you're going to do the Commander products, that's totally cool. I mean, I've said before, Commander is a lore unto its own, and so are older formats. For example, like if you sit down to play Standard, you're expected to run into, you know, the current story we've got where, you know, we've got some leftovers from the Phyrexian invasion, and we're dealing with some of the new stuff with the Omen Pass. We've got Kellan everywhere. We've got One Planeswalker Return. We've got all these standard stuff. But if you go to Modern, you've got like Urza fighting, you know, rhinos from a different plane fighting slivers from ancient Dominaria. So obviously, I'm not saying that the lore necessarily will be affected by this. I just feel that, you know, if you're going to I'm hoping that they're not standard legal sets or eternal legal sets. Because, well, I'm concerned about it. And obviously, the reprintability of it is the big one. And I know that was the big complaint everyone had when the Walking Dead commanders were released, Secret Lair. They were like, oh my god, we'll never get a new one. Well, we got a new one. And, you know, genuinely I'm worrying, are we going to have a reload situation where we have multiples again? Like, for example, you know, how we have the Stranger Thing creatures are also random Innistrad people. You know what I mean? Which is, you know, it's peculiar, but I think that kind of detracts from it. Because I really feel that, like, for example, those Innistrad random creatures that they put in for the and the same with Dominaria, the Street Fighter characters, which is a great example because I love Street Fighter. I have the Secret Lair framed, I have it next to my fight stick, my collection of Street Fighter games and other stuff. Street Fighter and fighting games are my jam. But I feel nothing for the random ones that they've said that were just, you know, the random beast thing that's meant to be Blanca. Well, it is Blanca, but with a different name. And, you know, it detracts from the, I guess, the feeling of it, because you look at it and go, well, that's not a magic thing. That's the Blanca just randomly inserted into a world. And yeah, I guess that hurts it. But that's what I'm saying. One thing I'm worried about is if we are going to get these in eternal formats, are we going to get then reprints? Like, best example, Orcish Bowmasters and the One Ring. If we get to a point where we, for example, have a reprint of Lord of the Rings but under Magic license, are we just going to randomly get Orky Bowmasters, and are we going to get the one Power Stone or something? And then you'll have two different copies that are the same copies, but as I said before, it's mindless, dragging rent, but I really don't want to see two of our main... I mean, yeah, I get it. You know, it's the way it's going to go, but I really don't want to see an excessively huge amount of other IPs in the core of the game. Commander is the Wild West. I play against a dude who's changed one of his commanders to a British celebrity, very obscure one that I won't mention here for problematic reasons. But it's, you know, it's part of his joke, it's part of his funny thing, but you know, it's the Wild West, and it works in Commander because, you know, Commander has no cohesion. Anyway, that's our point. That's about what we're going to change. We're just going to do single matches a lot more. We'll do individual tech videos, and I'll try to get to minutes tech videos down to one to just sort things out there. And I'm apprehensive about Universes Beyond. But on the plus side, the Sheldon Mannery Secret Lair they dropped is really sick. You should check that out and buy that if you're up for it. Let's talk about here. We have our our match here versus Black Devotion. And we have resolved in this second match, we're up a game. We hit our boy. We hit Edgar here, and they are dead because... Oh wait, no, Edgar didn't flip. So we'll play Amelia Beneferis. We only have one white at the moment, so I'm going to attempt this collapse here, which will kill the Murderous Rider. Then we can swing in with our life-linking vampires, get free explore triggers off Amelia. We don't need the breakout. We'll keep the Cram Sessions because I love learning. Throw down a Kaito. No, not Kaito, Kellan. My K's, and I'm getting my K's all mixed up, but our opponent ultimately concedes there. So we hit pretty well there. We ranked up to Platinum on this match. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to show it. So yeah. So then it was a good show of the resilience. We didn't get to hit off the combo here. But now we have our next match. This opening hand is okay. We can drop a Hateful 2 here. I'm admiring the sleeves here because they're really sick. Our opponent is black and blue, which is quite interesting. And I immediately think this is control, but then I see red. So this is Grixis Phoenix. For those of you who don't know, this is unironically one of the reasons why I genuinely think that Phoenix is going to get something banned soon. I have no joke in the Pioneer queues run into Dimir Phoenix, where they don't even have the capability to cast a Phoenix naturally. They don't even have those colors. But they, unironically, have been using, obviously, the insane power of the Delph spells to get there. And I think, like I've said before, that's going to be the nail in the coffin here. We get to the point where Phoenix decks are functioning primarily as dredge decks, where they're not even casting this. Well, they are casting spells, but you know what I mean. They are playing on a completely messed up axis here. I'm considering whether or not to resolve Niv here. I'm trying to remember how many counters they run in this deck, so I just run him out. It gets through. I was thinking, and I think I've improved right here, the primary focus of this deck is removal, hand disruption, and the cantrips that you see in regular Phoenix. But primarily way more like draw effects. Yeah, that's how the Dimir version of this deck was getting Phoenixes down. Alright, Phoenix comes down. We can drop a land here. We can investigate with the Kellan, drop an additional land. We'll shock that in. We'll gain life. We'll get the Mascot Exhibition for later. For fun, let's go for the breakout. And we find another Niv. So we'll see where our opponent goes for on their turn. Sleight of hand. Opt. This also is a great match to prove why I'm a huge fan of just constantly adding. Right, they could have drawn some other removal here, but I'm just going to run out the Niv anyway. It gets out as well. Let's see if they have more removal. We'll grab Amelia here to demonstrate that we have the potential for the combo. Then we'll drop down a voice, which will prompt them to use their interaction now. They use another bit of Triumph here, discarding another card. We got to discard two, so we'll get rid of another Kellan, and we'll get rid of the teachings, because we're never going to have less than them now. But we're in a pretty solid state here. They go for a Brazen to bounce our board. So we'll shock in. Let's throw down an Amelia here, because if they have removal, I'm totally cool with them spending free life to get it done. They shock. Right. Break out. Doesn't find us a creature. Tyrant Scorn will kill the Brazen Borrower. And yeah, we're still set and ready to roll. We gain so much life here that we're not in effect, and we naturally draw the combo, so let's go. Play Wildgrowth Walker. We've got double Lightning Helix here, so we can, but unfortunately we don't have double red. Unfortunately our opponent concedes there because they obviously are struggling. So we bring in Rest in Peace here. And the veto. Kaito, you're a little too slow, I'm afraid. I consider taking out a little. Well, I'm going to take out a little bit of the combo here, because I'm hoping that they sideboard in to prevent the combo, like bring in way more creature removal and stuff, and we can grind a slower match out of them. And this is also, I remember this guy. So this guy commits the cardinal sin here. And I'm really mad that I lost my recording on it, because I got really insulting on this. So I'm going to wait till he finishes his thing here. He gets a good start this game, I'll give you that spoiler before we talk about it. We have a Rest in Peace on one, we just got to dodge a Fortsies, see if we can do that. Which probably not, you know, it's a black based deck, they always have turn 1 Fortsies. Yep, there's the Fortsies. Takes away a Rest in Peace. Pass the turn. We're just going to shock out the Wildgrowth Walker here, get more interaction out of their hand. They go for a Consider. They get rid of another Fortsies, which is interesting. They Picklocket Prankster, mill 2 Phoenixes, and get a Sleight of Hand. We've drawn terrible here, so we'll just hit in, pass back. 2 Arclights on the field. They play Pickpocket, pass back. Play a land, we'll run out Edgar, see if he resolves. They have a Shieldred's Edict, which forces us to sack our creature. They're clearly still worried about the combo, as I should say it's not the main focus here. We just gotta hope they don't have like 3 quick interactive spells here. Except they Bit of Triumph, throwing away a Growth Spiral, a Fatal Push. They Treasure Cruise, getting back 2 Phoenixes, going back up to 4 cards here. Play a land, we pass back, we draw another Niv here. So we've cast our Niv, see if we can find anything. We find a few interactions here.
Reload!
Let's see where it goes. We have to discard. So I'll get rid of the Kellan because it's a bit slow. They play Shieldred, the Apocalypse, swing in. We go down to 7. Draw a card. Cram Sessions. I'm considering my options here. I get Intro to Annihilation to deal with the Shieldred, if we can get it later. And then I'm just going to pass and hold back blockers. See what our opponent goes for. They go for Consider. Draw a card, gain life. Ledger Shredder. They go for the attacks, which is interesting. So I'm going to Helix the Phoenix here. Block the Panster, and I'll sacrifice one of my 1/1s to gain some life. We get back Edgar here. I will shock in. I will attempt. So I'm going to use Introduction to Annihilation here, holding up a veto to counter anything they might have for protection. And then I decide to swing in and hold back my Flying Blocker in case they can reanimate the Phoenix. Gain a little bit of life back. Opponent mills with a Pickpocket Fancer. I'm actually going to veto this to just stop them gaining stuff. They go for the Opt. Throw away the 3rd Phoenix. Play another Ledger Shredder. Play an Opt. Get back triple Phoenixes. Swing in. We block like this. We go down to 3. We draw another Niv. We could swing out for our team. They block like that. We go back up to 7. We'll cast Niv, block with a new Niv, and hope we find something. We do, luckily, hit some stuff here. So we've got a Vanishing Verse, get rid of one of the Arc Lights here. Problem is, if they have solid removal here, we could just be dead either way. There's a Shieldred, there's a Pickpocket Panzer, and they discard a land, gain life, mill. They get back a Treasure Cruise, play a land. So yeah, between that and that, they've got it. So I concede here, and they spam the good game. Now that's a effing swear word move to someone who claims from the FGC. So complete disrespect, and I know Magic players were talked about this because of some incident at a tournament. You don't give the GG to the guy you've beat. You let the guy that you've beat throw the GG to you as a courtesy. You pull that crap in an arcade, you are likely to get slapped or fucking thrown out. And there ain't gonna be no fucker on your side if you do that. Legitimately, like, you can go watch FGC content on YouTube, just type in FGC Brer Fights, and you'll see legitimate effing matches where people do that, where they're like disrespectful and people just slam them in their face. It's something I would be totally up for, to be fair, as well. Alright, so with that in mind, I'm filled with conviction here. Let's go for a Voice of Resurgence. Let's make them play on their turn. They pickpocket to mill, find a Phoenix. They get a Disdainful Stroke, which is fine. We'll Cram Sessions, grab basic Conjuration, swing in for 2. They've brought in counterspells, obviously, to resolve against the Niv-Mizzet. Bit of Triumph, discarding a 2nd Phoenix. We'll play the Edgar while we can, swing in for 2, pass back. Now, is where their silly brain comes in, because they decide to play the pickpocket to hold up the counterspell, because they clearly just want to counter my Niv-Mizzet. So we'll just make both our fields 4/4s with that. They go for a bit of Triumph, discarding another bit of Triumph. We put them down to 8. They play a Sleight of Hand, play a Ledger Shredder, swing in for 1, we make another Lifelinker. We'll go for basic Conjuration, find Amelia, play Amelia. They get to Ledger Shredder here, play a Phoenix, put that down, we swing in. They block and block, they go down to 3. They are pretty much dead to board here, so we get to explore with Amelia. And we get Rest on Peace on top of our library, where they can't interact with it, force seize or get rid of it. So they've got to hope for the counter, except their hand's just full of counters, I'm guessing. So I decide, you know what? You want it to be a little swear word? I'll be a little swear word. I'll attack in, see what you've got. They have an Odawara. So Odawara gets triggered with that. They're lethal to that attack. So we'll play the land, play that, and we'll just give them a GG. And then, we'll give them another GG, because they were disrespectful little swear word. And GG, oh, GG, my friend. I wish I could have slapped him across the face for that disrespect. Anyway, that was the end of the video. Look forward to the changes.